Fade these NFL players on Sunday. Today, I have 3 unders. I know it's going to be uncomfortable, but 3 unders I love this Sunday in the NFL. Now, you might be like, Austin, I hate betting unders. True, but as we always say, there's more ways to cash an under than there are to cash an over. And this season, I am 5-0 on unders this season. If we go 3-0 on Sunday with these 3, I might have an all-under card cooked up next weekend. As always, my name's Austin from Calling Our Shine. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you hate unders and you haven't already clicked off the video, well, I have a bunch of overs, only a couple of them, actually 2 props and 2 parlays posted right before this video. If you want to go check that out, 4 Ps, parlays, player props, and prediction. I encourage you to go watch that video. We do that one every Saturday for NFL slate. I'll link it down below in the pinned comment in the description. But let's dive into some unders. Let's get uncomfortable and let's dive into them and get some winners on the belt. Now, unfortunately, you can't bet the under on this one. That would be a parlay play free square. If you have never signed up for parlay play, I encourage you to do it. And now's the best time to do it because they're giving you a Lamar Jackson free square for him to get 1 yard. I know you can't bet the under there, although this is an under video. You have to take the over there. But Lamar Jackson, if you sign up using our code COS, you'll get that free square, any match on your first deposit up to $100. Pretty cool offer. I love parlay play. You can take these 3 unders I'm about to talk about and put that with Lamar Jackson. That is a winning slip for you. Let's dive into the 3 unders and get uncomfy. First one, James Conner, under 64.5 rushing yards, -120 on Bet365. If James Conner goes over on Sunday, I will never bet another under on him. You have my word. Last year, I think I bet 1 under on him, under in rushing plus receiving yards. I think he went over in the first quarter, or at least he had like 80 plus. I'm not doing under in rushing plus receiving, just rushing yards here. Now, last week, if you remember, one of our unders that cashed, like I said, 5-0 on unders this year, was Rachaad White, and Rachaad White sucked. He went out there and he absolutely was terrible. It was against the Lions. Well, today, Fade and James Conner, same matchup. Conner has looked pretty good this year. He had 50 yards in week 1 against the Bills. Last week, 122 versus the Rams. So he's 1-1 on the line. Now, why do we fade running backs versus the Lions? Well, the Lions this season have allowed the 4th fewest rushing yards per attempt at 3.3. And last year, they were 8th in yards per rush attempt. So they were right there at the tops of the league. Then they went out in the offseason and added DJ Reader, one of the best D tackles in the league at stuffing the run. There's a reason the Bengals' deep rushing defense is terrible, and that's because DJ Reader was an anchor to their defensive line last year, and when he wasn't there, when he was injured, they sucked. Well, now they don't have him. They don't have a replacement, and that's why you can run on the Bengals. Well, you already couldn't run on the Lions, and now you got an even tougher spot with DJ Reader. Now, you see James Conner, his rush attempts line is sitting at 15.5. That's a number he's gone over in both of his starts this year. So sure, the rush attempts might be free. I don't think so. I think this is the game they lean on Kyler's arm and his legs a little bit more than James Conner. I don't see them having a ton of success getting explosive runs against this Lions defense. They've been super good at stopping the run. Hopefully, Alex Anzalone, their linebacker, is playing. It appears he will play. He's in concussion protocol. Hopefully, he does play. He's a pretty good, impactful, obviously, linebacker. He gets a ton of tackles, but also you just look at since 2023, 14 running backs have 10 or more rush attempts against the Lions. Only 2 of those guys went over this line. 9 of them were held under 50 rush yards. So 9 of them didn't even get close to the line, a couple in the mid 50s. We got 64.5 number line. I think James Conner's going to have to break off a big one to get there. And I don't know if he gets that against the Lions team that's really good at limiting those explosive runs. So give me James Conner, uncomfy under, taking it at 64.5 rushing yards. I'd play it to about 60.5, maybe 59.5. That's about as low as I'd go. Fading James Conner in week 3. Next one, we got a guy that I threw up on the thumbnail, and he wasn't looking happy on the thumbnail, and I hope he's not happy on Sunday. It's Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones of the New York Giants, under 31.5 yards for his longest pass completion. Now, I do not care if Daniel Jones throws for 900 yards on Sunday. All that I care about is that his longest pass completion is 31 yards or less. Deal, Danny? Hopefully so. Now, this season, if you've been backing Danny Dimes, well, hasn't been the greatest start for you, as he is under 31.5 yards for his longest pass completion in both of his games. He finished with a 25 and 28 yarder. Now, it was against the Vikings and Commanders, 2 defenses that I'd argue you can pass on. The Vikings are really good at stopping the run. You got to pass, and Daniel Jones was in a negative game script all game long. The Commanders have one of the worst secondaries in the league. Malik Neighbors went off. Still didn't go under. Now, why is that? Did he not get a long completion against the Commanders? That's a team that's secondary is terrible. Well, number one, Daniel Jones, his pass catchers aren't great. Besides Malik Neighbors, who else do you have confidence in? Wan'Dale Robinson runs 2-yard routes. So he's not going down the field. And we look at Daniel Jones, he's not throwing it down the field, so I can't blame him. This season, Daniel Jones ranks 30th out of 34 qualified QBs in yards per pass attempt. He also ranks 30th in air yards per attempt as well. So the attempts just aren't going down the far down the field. And I can't blame Daniel Jones. The offensive line is still a work in progress, and he's obviously coming back from injury. He doesn't want to get hit either. So he's getting the ball out of there quick. And I don't blame him, especially in the matchup against the Browns, team with a great defensive line and a very good secondary. If he wants to get the ball out of his hands quick and gets to playmakers and let them do their jobs. Hopefully they don't miss like 6 tackles from the Browns and we can just tackle guys. Let them get their 15, 20-yard completions if they want. Just don't think he's going over this line. We've already taken an under against this the Browns secondary before this year as Dak Prescott. We cashed there. And I think we're going to cash again this season. The Browns ranked 9th in opponent pass yards per attempt at 5.8. They face some explosive passing attacks. We're talking about the Cowboys and the Jaguars, 2 teams that do want to stretch the field. Last year, the Browns were 4th at 5.5 yards per attempt. And at home last year, they allowed just 4 yards per pass attempt. So outside of Malik Neighbors, am I afraid of anyone else on this Giants team? Not really. And their run game is not too consistent either with Devin Singletary. Sure, if they want to run the ball a ton, go for it. But I just like this one a lot. I would take Daniel Jones full game under, but I don't really trust the Browns a full game. Maybe you see him in a negative game script and he's dunking it down, and his pass yards line is in like the 200s or maybe even below that. So I really like this under for Daniel Jones, under 31.5 yards for his longest pass completion. I don't care. Like I said, if he throws for 300 yards, we just need a 31-yarder or less. I don't think we cash that one. My third under of the video is going to be one that I won't spend a ton of time on because I'm not confident this guy is honestly starting. And if he doesn't start, then we might have just absolutely robbed the books. Let's talk about it. Malik Willis, the Green Bay Packers QB, under 147.5 passing yards, -110 on Bet365. There's a chance by the time you're watching this, by the time I post this video, that Jordan Love is ruled back in and that Malik Willis is not going to start. If that's the case, I feel pretty good here because number one, well, if Love, goes in there, plays 3 quarters, gets injured, Malik Willis, we're going to cash that under pretty easily. Also, Jordan Love, if you look at him, maybe they are in 3rd and short or 4th and short, and they're like, yo, we don't really want Jordan Love taking that hit on a QB sneak. Let's put in Malik Willis for some trickery or something like that. Cool. All that needs is Malik Willis to play 1 snap, and we would cash this under. I think he plays. I don't think Jordan Love's ready to go. He could, and if so, then I'll just stop talking. But I just don't think this is a great spot either way. The Titans allowing the 2nd fewest passing yards per attempt. Their secondary's been really good. I don't think Willis is good at all. I think he stinks. Last week, they were able to dice and carve up that Colts secondary. They really just made it, hey, throw it to your first read. I don't think that's going to be working too well against Tennessee. If he starts, I love the under. If he doesn't start, there's nothing I can say other than I wish you tailed the under earlier and you're in the DubClub and got early access to it. It wasn't available on FanDuel or DraftKings when I posted it, but still on BetMGM, Bet365, and a couple smaller books. I love Malik Willis. I love his under 147.5 passing yards. That's going to do it for my 3 unders. There were some other ones I looked at, but I didn't want to go too crazy and bet the board on the unders. A couple others I did look at. I don't love the matchup for DK Metcalf on Sunday. I don't think it's a great one. The Dolphins have been a pretty good secondary so far, especially limiting those deep passes. We'll probably get Jalen Ramsey on it, but I'm not in the mood for fading DK right now, fading a star like that. So instead, I'll just stick to these 3. James Conner under, Daniel Jones under, longest pass completion, Malik Willis if he plays. Love is under 147.5 passing yards. I've already locked it in. In an ideal world, he doesn't play, Jordan Love plays, and we just get a few snaps out of Malik Willis, and we cash sweat-free, and we rob the books. I anticipate he plays, like I said, but if he doesn't, there's nothing I can do there. A reminder, there's a couple other videos live on the channel. Number 1, you can go check out our 4 Ps. I got 2 props, 2 parlays over there, a 1.5 unit play. I encourage you to go tap into that video. I'll link it on the top up here. Below it, if you're curious about our favorite spreads and totals and money lines and things that we like, I will link that video right there. It's posted on Wednesdays every week, so a couple days outdated, but you can tap into that. I really like the slate that I cooked up over there. It's always some good time chatting with Logan. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't agree. It's a good time chatting about those games. And my final video, which should be live Saturday night, day 4 of the ladder challenge, as we try to turn, we went 10 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 80. We're at $80. We're trying to turn it into over 160. The tap into that will be linked down below in the description. I guarantee in the ladder, these 3 fellas I just talked about won't be in there. Let's have a day. Let's cash some unders. Let's get uncomfy. Let's go 8-0 on unders. And next week, if we go to move to 8-0, 3-0 in this video, might be a full slate of unders. We'll see. Full card of unders. We'll see. You guys have a great day. Go check out those other videos. Have a great Sunday. See you guys in the next one. Peace.